Hi friends, it's time for Heal and Grow with Sara's first 5-star favorites review. I am so excited to talk to you today about the Calm meditation app. I love this app. I actually started using it back in January 2020, before I even knew there was going to be a global pandemic. And I tried to do it almost every day. I have continued to use it ever since then, and actually I think it was 2021 when I did it 108 days straight, which I think is pretty darn good. And it's made such a difference in my life. I've learned a bunch of new strategies and about things like equanimity and the importance of impermanence. And overall, I think the people on this app are really great teachers. I am a lot more calm and present with my life since using this Calm app, and overall, it's really made a positive difference in my life. Therefore, that's why I recommend the Calm app to pretty much everyone I know. I've even gotten several folks hooked on it, and it's helping them too, which I think is great. But I know it's not for everyone. There's some of my friends who often will fall asleep while using this app and said that it's not for them. And that's okay too. It doesn't need to be for everyone. But also, I do have to warn you that it's not an overnight fix. You're going to need to do it probably 10 minutes a day, or more if you want, consistently for probably several weeks to actually notice much of a difference. But I think it's really worth trying to do it. According to the Calm website, Calm is the leading mental wellness brand with the #1 app for sleep, meditation, and relaxation, designed to help you manage stress, sleep better, and live a happier, healthier life. With hundreds of hours of original audio content available in 7 languages, Calm supports users in more than 190 countries and boasts over 100 million downloads to date with more than 4 million members, which is quite a few people, I think. Also, Calm is working with schools and colleges and businesses, and they're even creating specific content for cancer patients and other people with illnesses. Therefore, before actually paying for this app, I would check and see if it's possible to get it with a discount or for free if you're one of those people. Calm does have a 7-day free trial, and I think right now it might be a 30-day free trial, but I'm not positive. And then you can either do $14.99 per month or $69.99 per year, and both those have an auto renewal. Or you can be like me and get a lifetime membership, which is $399.99. But I actually got mine for a lot less with a great deal. So I would keep your eyes open if you actually are interested in doing the lifetime membership. And if you're going to use it for several years, I think it's worth it. I think that's probably plenty of background. So let's actually dive into this app. What you've been looking at the entire time I've been talking is the Calm app. In the upper left-hand corner is the settings, or you can click on that, and there's a bunch of different backgrounds if you don't like the one I have. But I personally like the mountain lake, so I'm going to keep it. And lately what I've been doing is the daily Calm, the daily trip, or the daily J. But the app definitely has much more than daily updated meditations. And since some of you may be beginners, I'll actually show you where I'd suggest starting. So I would suggest going to Discover at the bottom, which is the magnifying glass. And then you're going to want to slide over this bar to you're going to want to click on meditations, and then slide over the bar to beginners, which mine is already there because I was looking at this for you guys before. And then you want to do mindfulness for beginners course. There we go. And this gives you a 30-day introduction to meditation. And I'll actually let you listen to it for just a little bit for the first one. So let's click on the big idea. And I do not want to do a how am I feeling, so I'm going to do
Day 1. The big idea. Hi, I'm Jeff Warren. Welcome to How to Meditate, an introductory course for Calm. Meditation is, in my mind, the most radical thing a human can do. It's a way to shift our state in the moment to be more relaxed and available. But even more importantly, it's a way to shift who we are in all future moments so that our baseline way of operating in the world is calmer and clearer, more fearless, more caring. This is something I personally...
Oops, I meant to pause it. Okay, there we go. Let's pause that there so we can see more about the Calm app. As you can see, there's several different options on the screen. There's the typical play, pause, stop, rewind, etc. And then in the upper right-hand corner, where you've got the cloud, which has a check mark, which means I've already downloaded it for using it offline. Usually it's empty if you haven't downloaded it. And I think the downloads are very handy for meditations while you're either camping off the grid or if you're on an airplane ride, and I'm sure it's useful for many other things. The thumbs up, which is kind of in the middle lower, which is highlighted right now for me, is because I like it. And then when you like it, they play more that are like these. And the heart adds it to your favorites, and since it's filled in, means it's also one of my favorites. And then the box with the arrow, you can share it to your friends. And then the next one with the 3 dots and lines, I like to give myself credit for, which is probably not just me, but I still like to say it's me. Back in December of last year, I unfortunately hit my head and got a concussion. And when you have a concussion, you are not supposed to look at screens, but you can listen to some things. And I wanted to listen to a bunch of meditations in a row and not have to keep looking at my screen, but they didn't have that feature. So later I emailed Calm and I explained my situation, and not too long after, I noticed that this button appeared and I was trying to figure out what it was. So of course I clicked on it and I realized they added playlists, which does exactly that. So I first of all was impressed how responsive Calm was when I did email them. And then also I like the fact that they did add this feature. And I do really like the playlist here. Let me click on it for you. I do like the playlist because sometimes I want to do a 30 or 40 minute meditation nonstop because I've been doing this a while. And also what I sometimes like to do is on airplane rides, listen to it nonstop and just kind of drift in and out of sleep sometimes. And clicking on this button, you can add it. If I click on, say, we'll just put it in anxiety, then it adds a little check mark, which means that it's in your playlist. Or if you decide, no, I didn't want to do that, you can get rid of the checklist or check mark. And we're going to stop this and go back to the home screen, which is over here. And as I scroll down, you can see there's recently played. We got your favorites. This is the how are you feeling, if you want to track your moods. And then we got some recommendations, and it has explore content on the bottom. But I'm actually going to click on other things for exploring the content. And so we're going to go to the sleep at the bottom, and well, I guess I have it on my downloads. But there's a bunch of different things on here. You got sleep stories. You've got a bunch of different meditations. The tools go into some different breathing exercises with breathing in for 4, holding for 7, breathing out for 8, or it's like 4-2-4. And I think all of this stuff is, and the music, and all this stuff is just great, especially if you have a hard time getting to sleep, like I sometimes do. Okay, the next one on the bottom is Discover. And if we click on that, I think this is the best spot to find everything. So let's actually go back from there. And if we go back to the beginning part, as you can see, it's got the dailies up at the top. And then next is all the different categories, which we'll come back to these. And then we've got some new stuff. And popular with listeners of Relationship with Other series, because that happened to be the most recent thing I listened to. You can browse by goal. You can browse by how much time you want to listen. And it also has quite a few featured collections. I did not mean to click on that. Okay, it also has quite a few featured collections. And so you can browse by some of these on your own later on. And I'm going to go back up to the categories. And one thing I also want to point out is they have a lot of great content for kiddos. So if you have kiddos, you may want to check this out. They've got a bunch of different topics. They've got your favorite characters. They've got some classics, some sleep stories if the kids don't want to sleep, some meditation, some lullabies, some different soundscapes, nap time, and movement. So I think that's awesome that they have all this kid stuff. They didn't originally have this when I first started. And also, let's go back here to meditation. And as I scroll across the top here, we'll start at the beginning. You can either do all sleep, anxiety, quick meditations, beginners, stress. I suppose I could be clicking on these. Stress, work, self-care with soundscapes, inner peace, focus, emotions. If you're one of those people who like less guidance, which I personally like more guidance because I can learn more and it's easier to keep paying attention. And then relationships and personal growth, and it just keeps on going to other stuff. So that is the different types of meditations that they have. And then lastly, I'm going to go to profile. And here you can see for the check-ins that they have different options if you want to keep track of every day, either like gratitude, which I highly recommend gratitude practice, which I will talk about in another talk. But I do recommend that either with this or on your own. And then also you can check in your moods or your sleep check-in. And then the other thing I like about this is the dashboard, where up at the top it's telling me that I should go outside and see what the sun smells like. But the part I do like is the stats, so you can keep track of how many mindful days you've had and how many sessions you've done or your longest streak and all that type of stuff. So there you have it. That's my 5-star favorite review of the Calm app. I hope you enjoyed it. And actually, one other thing I do want to say is for those of you who think meditation means you have to have no thoughts in your head, that is not meditation. I constantly have thoughts in my head. Meditation is you find something to focus on, which they call a home base. And usually you try and focus on your breath or like the tingling in your fingers. And then when you start to have thoughts, you look at them like they're clouds in the sky passing by. And so you know you have thoughts, but you try and go back to your home base and focus on your home base instead of those thoughts and have them just continue to keep on going. So it's not the having no thoughts in your head and just being completely calm. And sometimes when I do a meditation, I am not completely calm. Sometimes I'm anxious the whole time. But I find that overall doing them, it has a net of positive effect. And if you want to find the Calm app, you can go to your app store and search on Calm, which is just CALM, and you should be able to find it. So hopefully this will help you too. And be kind always, because you never know what others are going through. I hope you have a fantastic day.